guys, welcome back to Vibrant Health 101. Today we're talking about minerals, which I'm sure you did not guess from my really horrible clue in the last video, but it will make sense by the end of this one. So keep your eyes open for my very obvious clue to the next video. So today we're talking about minerals, and I just wanted to go over some of the symptoms. It's really hard to pin down symptoms for mineral deficiencies because they affect everything. So if you have symptoms, they're probably related to minerals. But here is a list of some symptoms that can be associated with mineral deficiencies or imbalances. And I'm just going to read them because there's a ton. So calf, foot, and toe cramps, cold sores, popping and clicking of the joints, bone loss, carpal tunnel, bone spurs, morning stiffness, chocolate cravings, anemia, strong foot odor, who would have thought, difficulty swallowing, white spots on your fingernails, which I have a little bit right now, cuts and scars heal slowly, and dehydration. Now we're also going to mention vitamins in this video. This video isn't really about vitamins, but they kind of go hand in hand. So I'm going to list a few of the vitamin imbalances, and those would be muscle fatigue, vulnerable to insect bites, tinnitus, numbness, tingling or itching of hands or feet, depression, worry, fear or apprehension, racing heart, night sweats, polyps, warts, bumps on the back of your arm, nosebleeds, and bleeding gums. So those are just a few of the many symptoms that come with mineral deficiencies. So I'm going to put in my disclaimer here. I'm not a doctor or healthcare practitioner of any kind, not medically trained. These are just things I've learned from my research, and so I would encourage you to do your own research and apply the things that would make sense to you for your situation. So definitely dig in there and do your own research. Okay, first off, let's talk about what minerals are and why they're important to us. So minerals obviously are the basic constituents of all things. So rocks, that, you know, it goes right down to the atoms. If you've ever looked at the table of elements, things like chromium, selenium, calcium, all of those elements are minerals. Now they come from the earth, obviously. Just a little side note, when you are cremated, that is all that's left of your body, is the minerals in it. So we come from the dust and we go back to the dust. That's all that's left when a body decomposes, is the minerals. So in our body, however, that's just what they are. How they function in our body is that they are they're the control for all of the other nutrients. So they've been compared to like a spark plug, where, you know, if in your car, the spark plug gets it going, it gets it started. So the minerals are like the spark plug to all the other nutrients in the body. It's the electricity. So they work with metabolic enzymes. These are not the enzymes we eat, these are the enzymes that our body makes. And they need minerals in order to function. It's kind of like a lock and a key. They fit together, and if the minerals aren't there, the enzymes don't work. The enzymes are what, every cell needs enzymes, these metabolic enzymes, to survive. They're what give us a sense of vitality. They basically give us that joie de vivre, you know. If you don't have that sense of vitality, it probably has to do with a lack of minerals that are keeping the enzymes from functioning. They also are instrumental in helping the nutrients to pass into the cells. So without the minerals, the vitamins don't work, so they can't get into where they need to go without the minerals. And I'll give you an example of that. There's something called the sodium-potassium pump. One is on the inside of the cell, one is on the outside of the cell, and they work together to draw things back and forth across that cell membrane. So, and this is another point with minerals, they have to be balanced within your body. So if there's more sodium than potassium, or more potassium than sodium, it creates an imbalance within that cell. So minerals must be balanced in that way. Same thing with calcium and magnesium. Those two work together on your muscles. One is for contracting the muscles, one is for relaxing. So if you have an imbalance, you get muscle cramps. So So that's where you need those minerals to get the nutrients into the cells, to get things where they need to go. And then the last thing I want to mention too is, and also to mention with them helping the nutrients into the cells, and the minerals need to be balanced. So if you have too much minerals, it's just as bad as having too little. So it's important to keep that balanced and not to just go out and, you know, take a bunch of calcium without the magnesium that balances that out. So the last thing, of course, minerals provide us with structural support, our bones. You know, calcium is what keeps us standing. But calcium needs magnesium. So anyway, moving on. Why the deficiencies? Our whole nation is full of people that are mineral deficient. Probably the majority of people are, and they don't really realize that that's what's going on. And it can actually take years to recover from a mineral imbalance. So, so what's causing all of this? Well, first of all, minerals are much more difficult for the body to extract from foods and to assimilate. And therefore, if there is any kind of dysfunction in your digestive tract, the minerals are not going to get drawn out of the food the way they need to. So we talked about the digestive system in the last video. If you need to, you can go back and watch that or review it. If you do not have enough HCl in your stomach to break down your foods to get those minerals out, you know, it just starts that whole process. The minerals have to have a certain pH in order to be assimilated. They also need certain proteins to help them circulate throughout the body. They're kind of like a guide that guides them throughout the body. Each mineral has a specific protein that goes along with it. Well, if your body is not digesting the proteins, then they're not there to work with the minerals. So any amount of digestive problems is going to cause trouble for your mineral levels. The second thing is that minerals are not stored, they actually get used up. So, and our body cannot produce minerals on its own. There are some things our body can make on its own, but minerals are not one of them. You have to ingest them, you have to assimilate them from your foods, and once you have them, they do get used up, and they are specially used up through stress. So when you're stressed, minerals are the first thing to go. The other things that use them up more quickly: lack of sleep, coffee, nicotine, alcohol, sugar, allergens, so things like overtraining, compromised sleep, low-grade infections throughout your body. All those things are going to use up your minerals and deplete you. The third thing is the soil. So that's where the minerals come from: rocks and soil. So our soil in this country, they did a study in 1992, and it found that U.S. soil is 86% less nutrient rich than it was 100 years ago. So that means the minerals aren't there to be taken up by us. And we'll talk about that in a minute, how that works. But so that is why everyone is so depleted in minerals. So let's talk about how we're going to fix this problem of everyone being mineral deficient. Sorry. Okay, so let's talk about how we're going to fix this problem of everyone having these mineral deficiencies. The only way really for us to get minerals is through mineral-rich water, which would be like well water or mineral water, or we talked about adding a little sea salt to your water, and then also nutrient-dense foods. Obviously, we have to have the nutrients in the foods in order to get it into our body. Plants actually are what is going to extract the minerals out of the soil, and there's actually a conversion that happens there. When the plant pulls up the minerals, it changes the electrical charge on the minerals to make them more ingestible by humans. So, and I cannot remember whether it's positive or negative when it's in the soil, and then the plant makes it the opposite, which then is what our body needs. So plants are it. That's how we're going to get our minerals the best. And here's another note with plants. Each vegetable that you eat will only have about 10 different minerals in it. We need about, I think it's 60. Sorry I didn't write down the number on that, but I think there's about 60 minerals that we need. If you're only eating cucumbers, you're only going to be getting 10 of those minerals that you need. So we need a lot of variety. We need all the different colors. That's why they say eat the rainbow. Every color has a different composition of minerals in it. So we're going to get our minerals from foods. Now, we talked before about how the soil is depleted. So if the soil is depleted, the vegetables don't have, there's not as much for them to draw up. And with, our current farming practices, they're just getting dumped, fertilizers, chemical fertilizers. They're not really getting what they used to 100 years ago. So, ideally, if we could grow our own vegetables and use compost and manure and all those healthy kinds of things to get those minerals in the soil, that would be ideal. But obviously we can't all do that. So the next best thing is organic when you can. There's a little chart called, I think it's Clean 15 or something like that, that you can look up online. There are certain vegetables that are more prone to pesticides than others. So when you're buying organic, you can pick and choose, if you can't afford to buy all organic, you can get just these certain ones, like lettuce is more likely to have less nutrients because of the pesticides and such. So that's something you can look at if you have an inclination. So here's another way to get minerals besides vegetables is bone broth. And I'm going to do a video, I'll link that up here when I get it done, on how I make my bone broth. What we're doing with bone broth is we're leaching all of the minerals out of the bones and the vegetables that we put in there into the broth, which is extremely easy for your body to assimilate. You do not have to really digest broth. It's the right pH, it goes right into your system and just absorbs all those nutrients right into your body. So bone broth is a must when you're trying to replenish your minerals. Okay guys, sorry about that. My camera battery died, so I'm going to try to finish this off with my phone, which is also about to die. So I'll try to be fast. Let's see, we left off supplements. If you are deficient in a specific mineral, and you would need to be tested by a doctor to figure out exactly what your deficiency was and how to balance that. But if you are deficient in a specific mineral, you would want to do supplements because that's the best way to get those levels back up and then maintain them with vegetables. So, however, if you're using supplements, you want to use a plant-based mineral supplement rather than an elemental supplement, because that's going to be much better for your body to assimilate. So what are we going to eliminate this time? I'll try to be fast before my battery dies. I would like you to try to replace at least some of the sugar in your diet with fruits, because you're going to get more minerals and vitamins out of the fruits, whereas sugar is depleting them. So try to switch over, make that change. And then what we're going to add is, I would love for you to add bone broth every day. That's going to get your mineral levels really up. And then at least, as often as possible, if not every day. And then the other thing to add is vegetables at every single meal. Vegetables are going to give you the balance of minerals. You're not going to have to worry about that imbalance between, calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium. Vegetables are balanced already. So the more vegetables you can eat, the more colors you can eat. Start experimenting, figuring out what you like, what you don't like, and just have fun with it. So those are things to add. Go ahead and watch the bone broth video when I get it up, if you need to. And I just want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for sticking out to the end. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video so others will know to watch it. And then also share if you know people that need it, and subscribe down below and click on the bell if you want notifications when I make a video. And then have fun with your vegetables. Thanks, guys.